Anand, I think we can take it away.
Thanks, Venkat. So we'll start straight away. A very good afternoon to everyone. We really appreciate you taking your time to attend this webinar. We assure you this will be a great knowledge sharing session for you all. On behalf of SkillLink, we would like to welcome you all for this webinar. I'm Anand Shekhar, Associate Director at SkillLink. SkillLink is one of the largest automotive and engineering edtech company in India. We're so excited to host this fireside chat on how Indian automotive GCCs are driving global innovation. This is a 90 minutes webinar with 60 minutes of fireside chat between two industry veterans and moderated by another industry veteran. And the last 30 minutes is dedicated for question and answers. Please feel free to post your questions on the chat box. With no further delay, we would like to introduce our esteemed panelist and the moderator. First, I would like to start with the panelist. Mr. Girish N Ramaswamy is a head of engineering India and head of technical center at Vitesco Technologies India. With over 20 years of experience in the automotive domain, he has a strong background in engine management systems and product development. He currently leads the R&D team and Powertrain Electrification products. Girish also holds the position of chairman at SAEIndia Bengaluru Section. Mr. Rahul C. Babil is our other panelist. He is an automotive industry leader with over 24 years of experience in automotive process control, instrumentation, and industrial automation domains. He has primarily worked across the design, development, verification, and validation of embedded systems. He has been a part of global and domestic automotive GCCs like Robert Bosch, KPIT, Mahindra Engineering, Eaton, and is currently the head of strategy at Magna International. And last but not the least, our host, our very own Mr. Pradeep Keloth, is a pioneer in electrification space with over 30 years of experience in automotive industry, notably heading the engineering division at Robert Bosch. And along with me, I have my co-host, Mr. Venkat, who will be presenting the screen and monitoring the question and answer session. Over to you, Mr. Pradeep. We look forward to a great session on this one. Thank you.
Thank you, Anand. Good afternoon, all of you. Good afternoon, Rahul and Girish. So,
Pradeep ji, your screen is not, your video is not visible.
No, I think Venkatesh has to share the slides.
No, not the slides, your camera.
Video, camera.
Oh, is it? How about now? How about now?
Not yet. You can start, Pradeep. I mean, we'll fix the camera.
Okay, fine. I am able to see it on my screen, so camera is on. Okay. So let me give you a context setting for the today's discussion by giving an overview level information about what is GCC and then how it has got evolved. So GCC is nothing but global capability centers. So basically the offshore centers established by MNCs. When you look at it, the start of globalization somewhere in late 80s. So the trend has started, and there is a lot of cost advantage as well as engineering talent availability in India. That was the main driving factors for setting up the offshore centers in India. So first, let us look at in 1985, the Texas Instruments started in a bigger way. 1991, General Electric started. So most of the time, the initial time, it was mainly with respect to the cost advantage, but later on, the value adding from the GCC center has gone up over a period of time. If you look at GE, so GE is the R&D center in India, but actually they are taking care of the entire global product. So they are into multiple engineering areas like healthcare, aerospace, power plant, material science, you name it. and around 1,500 plus patents are also generated from. So you can look at the kind of value add that R&D center is providing from India. So you can see that from a cost-driven model from the beginning. So majority of the ECC has evolved, and then they started getting into value-driven models where they are maybe sometimes providing the innovations and the global solutions or product and reaching into that particular level where they are executing all this independently from India. So if you look at 2023 scenario, so you can see that there is a lot of emergence happening in terms of AI, cloud computing, data analytics, cybersecurity. And strictly speaking, if you look at the the automotive domain, you can see that we are going towards the software-driven vehicle where you have so much of software which is going to be there in the vehicle, and so that is one of the mega trend that is happening as far as the automotive domain is concerned. So in 2023, you can see we have around 1,500 GCCs and then providing a market size of around 70 billion. And with over 1.9 millions of professionals working over here. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah. So out of that, we will focus on what are all the tier 1 and OEMs, multinational OEMs, the automotive domain. So there is about 65 to 70 in this particular category where the global OEMs as well as tier 1 service providers. So out of that, it is only 5% of the total GCC, and Europe is contributing 52%. Obviously, the Germany is contributing out of that 23% in the automotive domain, and 29% is coming from US. So here some of the things you can see over here, like Continental doubling the employees in the last couple of years, and then Ford's Chennai Center playing a major role with respect to major mobility solutions, Hyundai Hyderabad providing a lot of R&D activities. These are just a few examples over there. There are many examples. So over here, and as I already told, the factors which is driving are the rising demand for software-based solutions, and this particular trend is going to continue. So we will discuss these aspects along with the panel. So let us go into our next level of discussion with a presentation from, I'll invite Rahul to give a presentation from his organization Magna. So what he is doing. So this will be followed by another presentation by Girish from Vitesco. So after this, we will get an idea about what's happening with respect to these two organizations, and then we'll get into our panel discussions subsequent to this presentation. So over to you, Rahul.
Okay, thank you, Pradeep ji. Let me share my screen. Okay, just let me know when you can see my screen.
It is visible, Mr. Rahul.
Visible.
Okay, thank you. So good afternoon all. I'm Rahul Babel, and as I was introduced, I'm holding the position of Director Strategy and Innovation as well as Electrical and Electronics in Magna India. Let's have a look at what is Magna India. So as you can see on the top side, it is an engineering company, and where we have engineered the vehicle right from the three-wheeler to the big trucks. Basically, Magna India is a cooperation in between two Magna entities called Magna Steyr and Magna Powertrain. We are located in Pune, having office area of around 5,600 square meters. We worked in two shift patterns, having a head count of around 915 plus. So we are approaching almost 1,000 engineers in our Pune center. We are having world-class IT facilities. We are ISO 27001 2013 certified, as well as ISO 9001 2015 certified. We are also having TSAX level 3. If you look at the capabilities in MagnaStar India, we provide the complete vehicle engineering solutions. So we are having different areas like body and closures, where we focus on design and development of body in white structures and closures. We are having teams like interior and exterior trims. So they are working on design and development of interior, exterior trim parts and complete seating system as well. We are having group of chassis powertrain, where we focus on design development and testing for chassis, drivetrain system, including gearboxes, suspension, etc. We are having big team of electrical and electronics engineers who are focusing mainly in the area of design, development, testing of software, hardware, electrical and electronics for different automotive components. We are having complete vehicle safety team, where their focus is virtual simulation, physical testing, durability, NVH, crash, MBS, thermal, CFD, different type of analysis. So it is a kind of CAE team, you can say. And apart from that, we are having project management team. So this is in a nutshell a complete. With this team, we can provide the complete solution for any vehicle. We can engineer a complete vehicle. So if you look at what we have done within last 10 years, so this is the overview. Like we worked on different domestic as well as international OEMs, and we worked in different areas with them. So it involves, maybe I will not go in every detail, but maybe I can start with Tata Safari, where we collaborated with Tata in 2012. We worked in interior exterior development. We worked on VW Force Motors. We worked on Jeep Compass also. Like we were involved in complete vehicle localization and testing. We worked on different tractor kind of projects, which involves ITL, then iShare. So these are we also worked on some defense vehicles as well. We work for three-wheelers like Piaggio for cabin development. So there are like multiple programs on which we worked in different areas. So this is an overview. Like as I told you, like we worked with different domestic customers in India. Also, we worked with multinational companies, multinational OEMs also. So this is an overview which talks about which all foreign domestic OEMs in India with whom we have worked. Like it involves VW, Fiat, or GM, MAN, and so on. In addition to that, we worked with Indian domestic OEMs also, which involves Tata Motors, then Mahindra, Ashok Leyland, Bharat Forge, BMW, Force Motors, Sonalika, iShare, Escort, and so on. See again, like it is this organization is a joint venture in between Magna Steyr and Magna Powertrain. So we are providing engineering solutions to our different Magna entities also. So we are working with Magna Steyr for complete vehicle engineering. Magna Powertrain, we are working for powertrain solutions. We worked with Magna Seatings, Magna Interior and Exteriors. We are working with Magna Closures for their mechatronics products, Magna Electronics, and Magna Car Top Systems. For some, we also work for the export projects like PSA, VinFast, and so on. So this is the overview of the organization where I'm working, which I'm representing today. Thank you, Pradeep ji.
Thank you, Rahul. So now over to Girish to give the same presentation from his side.
1 second, I'm just sharing my screen, Mr. Girish.
Yeah.
Yeah, hope it's visible.
Yes, it is. Thanks, Venkat. So thanks, Pradeep, for that intro, as well as thanks to Skilling for having me here to represent Vitesco Technologies. So, as some of you know, Vitesco Technologies is a German-based company founded a few years ago after spin-off from Continental. Can we go to next slide, Venkat? Yeah, thanks. So basically, as I said, it's a German-based company where in 2022 we had the sales for about more than 9 billion euros, and currently we are standing at more than 38,000 employees globally. In 2022, we had the sales of around or more than 1 billion for electrification alone. At the same time, in 2022, we had the order intake of more than 10 billion euros towards electrification. So this clearly indicates our strategy as well as our focus for our future is purely on electrification, where the acquisition has started a few years ago and it's still continuing. And we are in the process of delivering a lot of products towards electrification in the coming years. As a company, it's a global company, predominantly working for propulsion systems. Earlier, we were working for predominantly on the IC engine business, and slowly we are shifting towards electrification. And also on the electrification side, we do have more than 10 years of experience, predominantly covering all the products that are necessary to run a complete EV, which I'll now talk about it in the next slide. Electronics champion, with strong background with electronics, software and mechatronics, which are in need for our future technologies, especially inside the automotive domain. I think we are geared up, and our DNA strongly lies in these parts of electronics, software and mechatronics. At the same time, we do have strong position in electronic control systems, as well as sensing technologies and actuators, which are anyway needed as a kind of basic sensors in any type of cars. So next slide, please. Yeah, as you could see, a busy slide. Maybe just to give info, 2 years ago, when we had a look at our product portfolio, I think we did not had so many products that are related to electrification portfolio. But really happy to see the progress in the last 2.5 years, that this slide contains so many products today, much more than we have, but important ones are shown here. Happy to see that all these products are having order intake, and we are delivering a lot of SOPs on these products in this year as well as in the coming years. So when you look from your left-hand side, just to explain the product portfolio, it can be broadly divided into 2 parts. One is for high voltage solutions, and the other one is on the 48 volts. And on the high voltage solutions, we do support either it's BEV or a plug-in hybrid or a full hybrid. At the same time, for mild hybrids, we do have 48 volt solutions. So starting with the first vertical on the electronic controls, we do have the Powertrain Domain Control Unit, or the Vehicle Control Unit, as some of the OEMs call it, and hybrid transmission controls and actuators, which are basically used for controlling functions. So predominant to take an example, just to handle how do we the torque demand and also the energy management inside a vehicle. The second pillar on the e-machine, this is basically the propulsion system and also the energy recuperation, where it's I would say a 3-in-1 system with inverter, e-machine, and also the reducer combined in one box. At the same time, when you go down, we do have the mild hybrid solutions for 48-volt systems. Again, we have 3 variants over there, which cater to the demands of the different market. Third one on the inverter side, basically it's used for control as well as efficiency in performance of our e-machines. We have HV box with DC/AC inverters. And again, the converter part, which is very much necessary to supply the board net and also to handle our low voltage consumers. We have converters, high voltage DC to DC converters, as well as HV power box or the onboard chargers, along with products for 48 volts as well. And then energy management, which is also quite important considering the optimization of our batteries. So we have BMS, battery management system, and the junction box, as well as for 48 volts, the battery pack itself. Last but not the least, but very, very important, the thermal management solutions, where with systems going up to 800 volts, we do need to have proper and efficient thermal management, and there are different products are available as shown in the picture, just to handle all the thermal management solutions within the car. So all in all, I could say that we do have a complete portfolio for EVs, which we have seen the progress in a greater extent in the last few years. And again, as I said, I think we'll be putting these products to life in the coming years. And since I also talked about a lot of system competencies over the years, we do have a strong team. Of course, in India, we are close to over 900 people supporting both ICE engines as well as the electrification portfolio here, especially on the R&D side. And in Pune, we do have a manufacturing plant. Yeah, this is a brief background about the company itself, and probably I'll hand over to Pradeep.
Very impressive, Girish. So before we go further, Venkatesh, I just want to see whether my video is visible now.
Not yet, sir. I'm not sure what the issue is.
I'm not sure what went wrong there. So we'll continue like this. Okay. So Girish, very impressive portfolio for electrification for both high voltage as well as for low voltage system, as well as you spoke about a lot of solutions. And Rahul, you mentioned about the both domestic OEMs and foreign domestic OEMs. I can really imagine the kind of the products and activities what you'll be doing for both this domestic as well as foreign domestic, apart from your magnetic stir activities. So very, very impressive, both of you. So let us start our discussion with Rahul. So Rahul, we have just seen that the landscape of GCC, and both of you also mentioned about a lot of activity has happened in the last 2 to 3 years, especially in the value adding space. So would like to know from you how the landscape of this GCC is evolving, and what do you see how it is going ahead with respect to your requirements.
Okay. So thank you, Pradeep ji, for this question. Like, if I look at the overall scenario, I can see that GCCs are going through the great transformation. Like, if I recall my initial days, I worked with various GCCs, like I worked with Bosch, I worked with Eaton. So if I look at my earlier days and if I look at what is happening today, I can see that the transformation is happening. Like we were earlier, the work was pretty low end work, and now we are working on the product engineering kind of things. Or earlier, the focus was for the base cost countries or low cost countries, but now multinationals are looking at India as true capability centers. So I will say that the things are evolved in recent years. Like many multinational corporations, they have expanded their business in India by setting up their GCCs, and they are expanding this cooperation in India to tap what you can say the vast pool of skilled talents. Definitely, they are getting cost-effective resources, but also they can see that the products or their products are having good market in India also. As well as they can see that there is a good ecosystem in India, technical ecosystem, I will say, it is growing in India. Again, like if I go back, like earlier, I remember the kind of work which we were doing, like it was pretty, like in the initial days, I remember the focus for GCC was mainly in the IT services or software development. But now I can say that GCCs are working in different areas. They are not only limited to IT, they are working in engineering, they are working in different kind of technologies. There are center of excellences formed within GCCs, which are catering needs of their counterparts or global counterparts. Several GCCs I have seen, and Magna is also not an exception, that they have become the hubs for innovation or technology excellence, I will say. And that's why I said, now you can see that many GCCs are engaged in doing many high value activities like product engineering or design thinking, data analysis, data analytics, and so on. So that is one thing. Then GCCs now they have started involving, rather they have started collaborating more closely with local universities, startups, or research institutions, and so on. So in a nutshell, I can say that they are fostering the culture of continuous learning and development. Again, I can see that many organizations, they are focusing on GCCs to develop the top talent. They are trying to attract top talent from the industry within India. They are trying to train them on different technical skills. They are trying to develop different leadership skills, and which will help them in future. So these are certain trends which I have observed in last few years, or even if I compare my journey in the GCCs. So this is what my observations are, Pradeep ji.
Thank you, Rahul. So just wanted to ask you one particular question. Maybe we'll come to the talent acquisition and how we can, what are the things happening over there in the last part of our discussion. So currently, I wanted to ask you one question. So we have always seen that the middle layer competency, that means we will get large number of talent pool from the colleges, or maybe from a huge amount of talent pool is available. But when it comes to the middle level, leadership level, my opinion, that is a very, very critical layer where a content-based leadership, maybe in the volume-based business, many people concentrated more on increasing the volume of business rather than on the value. So now when you are reversing it, so the middle level management plays a very, very critical role. So how do you see that that part getting handled?
So yes, So I fully agree with you, Pradeep ji. Like, if I recall the leaders from my earlier experiences, where I started the career, their main focus used to be only on people management. Okay. And if I look at the situation as on today, definitely there are many expectations from overall organization, from middle level management. Like, they are definitely people management is one important aspect of overall organization. Uh, but apart from that, the involvement of middle level management in technology is also increasing. Their technology know-how is also increasing. They are becoming part of what you can say the critical programs. They are contributing there. They are participating in different reviews. So they will have to sharpen their technical edge all the time. That is also I have seen, and I see that organizations are taking efforts in that directions also. So in order to achieve that, they are going through different kinds of workshops or trainings and so on. But this is one more change. Sorry, I did not mention it in your while answering your first question. But yes, this change also I can see very well.
Thank you, Rahul. So now coming to Girish. Girish, I think if you look beyond the boundaries of organization, and when you look at India, how India can play a leadership role in the automotive mega trend topic that is coming. So we have electrification, we have autonomous drone vehicle, we have connected, and we have the shared mobility stuffs coming. A lot of things, software driven stuffs are coming in future. And the multinational companies, when they are starting their offshore center here, they are also bringing a lot of know-how with them in terms of the products and whatever. How do you see India can play a leadership role in this particular scenario? Is it really happening, or what is your view about how we can make this happen?
Yeah, thanks for it. I think Rahul has partly answered this part of the question. Probably I'll just take it from there. As Rahul mentioned, as all of us know, initially companies from the outside world, they were coming to India just from the perspective of cost arbitrage. Nothing else. They saw a lot of engineers in India, just entered and got the benefit. And this happened for many years, I would say. So as Rahul put it, purely for cost benefit, they were here. But when you look at the previous years, the progress, what we have made can be put into 4 buckets. One is, of course, the beginning is cost arbitrage, why they were here. Slowly, we moved into kind of modular responsibilities. Then once we achieved that, I think many companies moved into a kind of center of competences for certain products or certain functionalities. And finally, we are at full responsibility. Full responsibility, it could be leading the entire product development out of India, whether it's purely software driven or a product driven. I think we have good examples across all these industries. And when you look at today's trend, the new technologies are really moving fast. When you name an industry or a domain, I think new technologies are there every day. And in the same sense, I think automotive is also moving very fast. You could see that, with, as you rightly mentioned, with SDVs, software-defined vehicles, which are in the starting phase or the transformation phase, it is nothing but, making our car a mobile phone. That's where we are heading towards. We are, connecting the entire car to the cloud and giving that user interface similar to a kind of mobile phone. This is where the industry is heading towards. And more, as it happens, software will become intensive. And, India being hailed for our software capabilities, mathematics capabilities, I think this is where the future is also moving, and this is where the India has the capabilities to play a major role. Just considering, and the software we have proven with the full capability of, delivering any kind of product within that domain. But, the software will become a dominant player, especially in automotive as well. So, for example, I can take electrification. So, the whole industry is moving towards electrification. So, when you look at IC engines, the beginning of the IC engines, the story was similar with limited number of knowledge amongst the people. And the industry learned it over the past 30, 40 years. And we can see where exactly the really the capabilities or the expertise lies here. Probably you can really say Europe, especially German OEMs, they do have very expertise level of the IC engines scenarios. But when it comes to electrification, and when we saw our experience in the last few years, I think all of us are on the same page. Whether it's OEMs or tier 1s or tier 2s, whether it's US or Europe or Korea, I think all of us are learning together. In this way, I think we can say that the know-how level is somehow similar across the world. And I would say this is a great opportunity for us as India to be in the driver's seat, and on top of it, software is driving. This is where I think we need to make use of this opportunity at this point of time. And with software-defined vehicles also getting transformed in this in the next few years, I would say that we can become a kind of driver in all these aspects, considering the software-intensive automotive technology market from today on.
The software focus, we know that actually a good amount of IT kind of software also will come into automotive domain without any doubt, in terms of networking, in terms of communications, whatever. So how do you see this particular aspect? Because India already have a lot of robust IT companies available and the knowledge available. So what would be a typical approach here in terms of, is it collaborating with those companies and then gain that particular knowledge, or this know-how will be developed in-house, or what is the best way to do this? Because actually it is all about automotive core technologies getting combined with IT software.
See, what I have seen, it's a question to me, right?
No, yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. So what I have seen when you come to these captive centers like us or Magna or the GCCs, what we call, here we know we have a clear-cut strategy on our own product portfolios, and each of these companies, they know what they want to do, what kind of products they would like to sell, say in next 2 to 3 years, and we are well prepared, and we also gear up ourselves as an organization to train and also impart those know-how trainings to our employees, which I think will follow, and also the expertise coming from our either Europe or the base country. I think we get all the inputs that are necessary to develop and put these products into life. So when you come to the Indian companies, apart from this GCCs, like a lot of tier 3 companies where we have a huge number of employees, I think we need to shift the focus from extended workbench towards this product mindset. This is where I see a big challenge. But at the same time, having the software know-how in a competitive way, and also the future looks like software will be a kind of big player in the field of automotive. This is a right fit at this point of time where these companies can also grow up, because when we talk about software defined vehicles, we have to move to a different architecture. The current architecture doesn't support the software-defined vehicle systems at all. We need to kind of move towards a kind of in-vehicle server architecture where we really give the mobile-like experience to the users. So when you talk about in-vehicle server or the master controller architecture, we are talking about a platform called as the adaptive AUTOSAR, where it's a modular structure which allows all these players to put their functionalities in an easier way into the deck of any of the OEMs. Means competition is wide open. No, there is no need that the entire product needs to be developed by one company or one small company or one big company. A small player can also do a lot of things with the help of this modular structure. I say this is where I think we can play a major role, even though if you are a tier 1 or tier 2 company, and the solutions for the future can be based on software, where the architecture also allows to fit into any of the cars of the future itself.
Thank you, Girish. Bright future for India when you look at the overall scenario. Yeah. So now coming to Rahul, you mentioned about you are handling both domestic OEMs as well as the foreign domestic OEMs from here. So when it comes to India specific requirement, actually the market is very cost sensitive, and so they have to look at the things from a quality as well as from the affordability perspective. So what is your view here actually? Is it that actually it's a completely total different things we are doing for global OEMs and for local OEMs? How do you see that?
So I think cost is now, I don't think it is only limited. Like cost is a factor which is now not only limited to the Indian domestic OEMs, but it is also plays important role when it comes to multinational OEMs or OEMs outside India. So it is not limited to India. That's what I can say, because the entire development is pretty cost sensitive when we go for OEMs outside India as well. And quality is given, like nobody will definitely nobody is going to compromise on the quality. So that's what I can say.
Okay, so yeah, thanks for that. Rahul, fully agree in terms of cost. Everybody want to go for it. Maybe when it comes to India market, where we have 82% approximately is dominant by two-wheeler, and then when you address that particular segment, most of the time they will say, okay, what is the cost? Maybe a little bit more. I think that's what I meant by that. The vehicle mix for India as well as for the global market, they're also completely different. Do you see any specific challenge when you're doing with the vehicle segment which is available in the India market where it is dominant by two-wheelers?
Definitely. Like still I consider that India is a market of two-wheelers, and in that also cost plays very important role. Nowadays, two-wheelers are pretty popular in if I consider the youth, and in that context, definitely I will say that India will have to focus. Like there are multiple areas where GCCs needs to focus. If I talk about the two-wheelers, particularly EVs, then there is a lot of scope to invest in R&D for the EV technologies, to focus on battery efficiency or the range or the charging infrastructure. Energy efficiency is one area, like market expansion is another thing. So there are multiple things when it comes to two-wheeler GCCs needs to consider. That's what I feel.
Okay, good. So any additional info from any one of you with respect to the charging infrastructure that is required for the electrification domestically as well as on the global front. Especially my queries with respect to how we have progressed in terms of setting up charging infrastructure with renewable energy sources playing the role over there. So where we stand as of now, and then how do you see this particular roadmap, and then how do you really see that the EVs are getting charged from renewable energy sources? So Girish or Rahul, one of you can.
No, I think maybe we are not into the charging infrastructure, so unfortunately for that.
Okay, no issues.
But I think there shall be focus on, or rather there is a focus, that's what I can see, that providing fast charging solution in order to reduce the charging time, and it will add a lot of convenience for the users. So I can see that there are many efforts which are going on in this particular direction.
Okay, good. So now let us come to our the beginning topic where we discussed that especially we wanted to focus on the talent pool of India in addition to cost advantage. So how do you see the talent pool availability? How do you see what kind of collaboration need to be made with universities, or maybe to see that you are getting the right resources from the college itself? So what is your takeover here in terms of getting the right people for you even at the entry level?
Is it a question for me?
Anyone can answer.
Okay, fine. So the talent pool, definitely the talent pool, fresh talent pool or the younger talent pool is available from your colleges or some academic institutes. So it is very important that the GCCs or the centers like Magna, we shall have very good collaboration with academic areas or your colleges and so on. It is having multiple benefits. That's what I can see that say that because if I consider the colleges or the universities, if I look at their syllabus as on today, it is pretty advanced and it is changing day by day. Okay, so I can say that they are hubs of cutting edge research and development. And it will, if we collaborate with them, definitely it will help to drive the innovation, or it will definitely help to have some disruptive ideas on the table with the help of this fresh and young talent. Secondly, this talent, this is when you are working with the colleges, but ultimately this talent or this talent this is a talent pipeline. That's what I can say. So, so these college students in future, they can be part of the, they will be working in this GCCs, and it will add a lot of value to the GCC. That's what I'm thinking. It is not only important from just from the talent pool, but also, as I told you, when I look at the syllabus of the renowned universities, it is pretty advanced, I can say that, and they are working in different domains and they are working in different technologies. Maybe they are not working on any live projects, but their syllabus is covering different kind of emerging technologies. And by partnering with these kind of institutions, definitely GCCs will get benefited, because there could be a transfer of knowledge, and that knowledge you can utilize it for your practical applications for your projects. The ideas which are getting generated, the innovative solutions which are getting generated, those thoughts can be utilized for developing the products, which is intention of GCC. That's what I strongly feel. Then apart from that, when I visit the nearby colleges or the renowned colleges in India, I got the opportunity multiple times, and I can see that now they are very well equipped with state-of-art facilities. They are having really good labs or equipments. They can carry out different kind of experiments. They can do different kind of testing. So if we collaborate with this kind of institution, definitely we will have access to these resources. That's what I can say. Apart from that, the thing which comes to my mind is definitely they can be a part of some sort of market study or the activities which GCCs or the companies cannot do full-fledged, or they cannot put more efforts into, and they can involve these institutions in order to work on certain market studies. They can have certain concepts which this kind of institution take to they can take it to the market. They can see whether there is a need of this kind of solutions. This is just a thought which comes to my mind, and GCC can work with them to actually implement those solutions to bring it to the real world based on their studies. That's what comes to my mind. Again, apart from that, I think yes, like these institutes are really important from the innovation point of view, which I already mentioned. So it is. I can say that it is very much important for every GCC, and I think everybody is involved in doing these things. Like they should collaborate with different academias or institutions or even startups also. That's what I think, Pradeep ji.
Thank you, Rahul.
Just to add,
you want to add anything more? Exactly. Please.
Yeah, I think that I just wanted to add on top of what Rahul said. See, when you look at the entire horizon itself within India, for a very long time, both industry and the academia, we were, silos. I think we never bothered about what academia was doing, and academia was least bothered about what industry wanted. So this was running for a long time. But what I could see in the last few years, there is a strong relationship building. Maybe because of many reasons that, they would have felt, it's the time that we need to come together. Then only I think we'll be able to add value to both the sectors, I would say. That's where it all started. And also the initiatives from different consulting agencies or the societies within our India, like IEEE or SAE or NASSCOM. I think they are doing a tremendous work to bridge the gap between academia and industry. These young engineers are our future, no doubt on that. And all the GCCs, including our own OEMs or the Indian companies, they are hiring in large numbers in the last years. So one example, what I could quote here is, I think NASSCOM has come out with a kind of very nice program where who are part of this NASSCOM community. It all started in Bengaluru now, where we can give our inputs regarding the number of engineers needed. And they have a program for about 6 months where they train fresh engineers on the subjects which is tuned by industry specialists for about 6 months. And after 6 months, they will be industry ready. And we can take them into the company. This is a great program. I'm sure, I think skilling is also part of it, where I think such kind of initiatives will only boost the industry academia collaboration. At the end of the day, we will have right, engineers who are industry ready to take off from day one itself.
Yeah, thank you, Girish. I think that's exactly the point. And Rahul was also mentioning about how to create the talent pipeline. So that pipeline, as you said, Girish, I think that has to happen at the university level, and then making them, as you said rightly, industry ready at the time when they come out of the college itself. So apart from this, so we have seen around 65 to 70 Tier 1 and OEMs and Tier 1 companies setting up GCs here. That means they'll be needing huge number of talents. And apart from this, anything in your mind in terms of how this particular talent pool can be generated?
Yeah. See, talent generation, as I said, I think first of all, it has to happen within academia, where the focus should be towards each engineering discipline. The syllabus has to be, in line with the requirement. So this is started happening now with more and more focus. For example, when you look at the engineering syllabus now, I think at 6th semester and as well as at the 7th or 8th semester, each student has to make a kind of contribution to the industry. They have to go out and study and do some projects within the industry. This is a big change actually, because during studies itself, the students will get, some kind of corporate culture behavior and how companies work, how organizations work, what do they do, how do they do, how do they talk, how do they interact. I think all these things, really gets into the minds of these young engineers. This is where the starting point is. See, for example, understanding of these relationships, building of networks is a very, very powerful platform. Technology can be learned easily by any of the individuals. With the attitude what we have within India, it's easy to learn technology. But these additional bricks of stitching together, this is where it matters. And with, academia providing such a kind of platform for students to interact and also contribute for some of the work within the industry, that's a great step in the initial stage to develop right engineers in the right way so that they are industry ready and also the future ready. At the same time, when it comes to, industry itself, you could see, the recruitments happening across different companies in large numbers. All companies talk about, thousands only. Maybe barring in the next, this year and the next year could go slow because of business situation. But by and large, these are all dips only we see very temporarily, but, it will pick up very fast. So with this amount of growth and also more and more the software intensive products coming up in the future, I see with this approach of having academia ready, making ready the engineers to the needs of industry. At the same time, industry is collaborating with the academia to get right set of engineers into the market. I think this is where I think we see a great opportunity and also great scale where we can build our engineers for future.
Thank you, Girish. If I summarize what both of you has mentioned is, one part is that maybe the academy are doing a lot of good things. Probably maybe their syllabus, etc., may be lagging behind what is actually the industry requirement. So, Girish, you mentioned about there is a need for changing the syllabuses and then through NASCOM or maybe any IEEE or any of them. So connecting with the extreme good connect between the industry and networking with the students over there, and then maybe involving them in with respect to certain projects, and see all this kind of activities, maybe the internship, and all this can make the students industry ready by the time they come out of the colleges. I think this is what I would like to summarize from both of your conversation. So I would like to ask, apart from industry and the academia collaboration, so do you foresee any requirement for any other collaboration within the industries itself is required for, I'm talking about an ideal case, not necessarily with respect to your organization. So earlier we said that, okay, a good collaboration or maybe needed with IT companies. So maybe because a lot of IT software is coming into automotive. So you can also see that a collaborative approach with respect to different industries as well as maybe industry with academy is becoming essential for the GCC to contribute in a bigger way. So any additional point you want to mention here, Rahul?
Yeah. Shall I start, Rahul?
Yeah.
So maybe we can take SDV, software-defined vehicle, as an example. As I said, our future cars, will have an architecture with in-vehicle server, and at the same time, our car will get connected to the cloud. Means what? I think all along, when you go back 40, 50 years ago, whole car was designed and developed by mechanical engineers. So today, no longer it's possible. We need to have collaboration or inputs from different branches of engineering. At the same time, when it comes to such kind of architecture, to be successful, we need to have collaboration amongst the industry. Who is the cloud service provider? Who is the server provider within the car? And who is integrating all these software between these components, whether from the sensors to the controllers, to the servers, to the cloud. When you look at these, we can immediately catch a lot of companies will come into one place. And without proper collaboration among these companies, the technology, what we are talking, for example, the SDVs itself, will not be a success. So we need to collaborate between such kind of companies where they really add value, because as a company, as an OEM, one company cannot have all this knowledge within their premises. We need to get expertise from different set of companies where they are in, and we need to collaborate. And a lot of collaboration platforms are already getting shaped up in different parts of the world. I think all of us are part of such kind of collaboration platforms, and we need to come together. And this is where I would say the bigger collaboration will start to make such a kind of technology successful within the car.
Thank you, Girish. So you're really highlighting that. Pardon? Someone was talking in between. Yeah.
No, Mr. Pradeep, it was your echo only. Please go ahead.
Okay. No issue. Okay, no issue. So Girish, you are highlighting that collaboration with many industries are also extremely important in terms of succeeding in the future auto trend topics. So maybe I just want to ask you one last question, that when it comes to collaboration between industries, don't you also see that they also may be the competitors? So because the IT industry is also trying to compete, that because of automotive is no more very core topic. When it comes to IC engine, it was very, very core engineering topic. When it comes to electrification, yes, there are a lot of engineering challenges, but when you're shifting towards this, it is also giving a lot of opportunities for the other industries also to come and play in this. So don't you see that this collaboration also will happen, and along with that there will be competition as well?
Yeah. Girish, would you like to answer, or?
You can go ahead. I can add later.
Sure. So I think there were really valid points by Girish. Like if I consider the complete development cycle time also, if we have to reduce, we shall leverage strengths of each other. So organizations shall collaborate with each other, and but at the same time, they will have to safeguard their competitive edges also. They are having their own business goals, and still they will have to come together. And for that, maybe industry is already following certain practices like consortias or some alliances. So industry can, or the many organizations from the industry, they can come together and form some industry consortias or alliances. There can be different focus areas also, like there could be autonomous driving, or there could be forum, what you can say, the platforms like AutoSAR. So this kind of alliances or consortia will definitely help GCCs to work together with the competitors, also with the suppliers, where they can define and work on certain common standards. I will say there could be some open source software which can be helpful for reducing the cycle time. There will be knowledge sharing also, and this may help. Apart from that, these organizations can come together. They can work with universities or research institutes also, which I already mentioned earlier. So when you work in this particular way, one thought which comes to my mind is definitely this will accelerate the innovation, and it will be at minimum cost. That's what comes to my mind. Apart from that, if I consider the companies like Magna, like we are working with many suppliers. Okay, so we can work closely with our suppliers so that we can co-develop certain key components, or we can work together on certain technologies required for some autonomous vehicle and so on. There could be some data sharing also. That is also coming to my mind, because data is really a valuable asset nowadays. Like no matter whether we talk about autonomous driving development or anything else, data is really very important, and the organization can collaborate on some data sharing initiatives. Of course, they cannot share everything. They will have to protect their IP, but still, like there can be some platforms where they can have some careful data sharing agreement, so that they will get benefited from each other's experiments. Also, the competitive edge can be protected. That is one thing. Organizations can collaborate through government agencies or regulatory bodies also. That is very important. I think this will help to shape some regulatory framework for autonomous vehicle. That is one thing. I don't know like how much it is possible, but one more thing which comes to my mind is like there could be some cross-functional teams. Maybe some organization is working on one particular domain of automotive, and another organization is working for some another domain. They can come together and they can work for the entire product. Maybe they can share certain areas, like somebody is very strong in software and hardware engineering, somebody is strong in AI or cyber security. They can come together. There could be some joint ventures. That's what I'm saying. But definitely while doing this, they will have to make sure that their IP is protected, and still they will get benefited from each other. That's what the thought which comes to my mind, Pradeep ji.
Thank you, Rahul. So, Girish, you want to add anything further to this?
Maybe here, partly what I see is, I think that's the need of the hour. We need to collaborate because there is no other way. So when you look at the mobile itself, on an Apple phone, you have a Google Map. Google Map works. Both are competitors at the end of the day. So in that way, I think we will have synergies coming up, and we need to find ways how do we protect ourselves as a company from the patents or the inventions what each company has. And there are ways to do that. It's not a kind of rocket science or a complexity that will stop companies from making it happen. And at the end of the day, we need to also see the opportunities. When you do that, I think market really expands. And that's also huge opportunity for individual companies for the individual growth, and also apply their solutions during this transformation. And it's also important for companies because the competition will increase, because a lot of players will come into the field, and the value add composition what individual company gives will become important. So basically, the technology companies will survive because they know how to survive in the market by giving values that are required by the customers. So from my perspective, I think collaboration has to happen. And there are different ways where we already have in the market. How do we manage our individual patentable products? There are already solutions available, and it will happen.
So thank you, Girish. Now I think I would like to give some opportunities for the audience. So before going to that, I would like to thank both Girish and Rahul for very engaging discussions here. So we started with globalization, and from where we started with the GCCs on a lower end cost advantage we started with, and then we are now talking about how the value can be created by the GCCs in terms of products or maybe a higher end solutions, whatever. So then we spoke about the collaboration with academia, which is very important. We spoke about the collaboration with industry in many ways, cross-functionality, because it is going to be a cross-functional topic. So we spoke about the formation of consortiums, data sharing. So a lot of importance in this particular discussion for the various collaboration that is required for the GCC to really add value. At the same time, of course, protecting the IP part of the collaboration. So now I think over to Venkatesh. Venkatesh, you can just check with the audience for their queries.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Pradeep. So I have the questions compiled. First question is from Subramanian. He asks Mr. Girish, considering competition from other emerging markets, how do you think India can sustain and grow, especially with respect to the GCC ecosystem?
Can you just repeat? It means only for GCC's growth, right? GCC. Yeah, I think it's a pretty simple question. I think with the way we have progressed over the years, as I said, as Rahul also mentioned, we have already moved away from cost arbitrage. We are already in the last phase of value addition as a delivery center. We are adding a lot of value to the industry. So this is where we make a difference to any other countries. So to catch up for some other country to overtake India, it's a very, very huge task. And at the same time, all of us know India is a young country, a lot of engineers coming out of the engineering universities. I think to catch up and to match that, it's not at all possible. I think the only way, I cannot see any other country taking us over, especially in this GCC side.
Thank you, Mr. Girish. That is very good to hear. So Rahul, would you like to add anything?
No, I think I'm fully in agreement with Girish, and yes, I strongly agree. Like we are having very good young talent pool, and also like if we look at the current situation, like this young talent pool is involved in many new technologies, innovations, and definitely it is going to help GCCs in India. So I fully agree with Girish.
Got it. Thank you. The next question is from Kumaran. It is to Mr. Rahul. It's with respect to with increasing purchasing power in India, is India still viewed as a talent pool and market for low value products?
I don't think so. Like it is not a pool for low value or low cost products. I don't think so, very honestly speaking. Like, can you elaborate these questions a little bit?
I think he means to ask, like, with increasing purchasing power, like, we have recently been seeing like increased purchase of SUVs rather than the low variant EVs, right? So, I think he means to ask how is India viewed from our partners abroad?
I don't think so, because if you look at the purchasing power is increasing. That's what he has also mentioned, whomever is asked this question. So if you look at the automotive sector itself, like many OEMs, they are coming to India and they are launching their, I will say, high-end vehicles also in India. And it is no more that kind of situation. That's what I can say, or that's what I feel.
Got it, sir. So Girish, would you like to add anything?
I think can go to the next question.
Yeah, thank you. The next question is also to Mr. Rahul. Sir, you talked about product engineering and development. How do you think it's going to change in the coming years?
So I think the change is pretty much visible. Like as I mentioned in the beginning, like if I look at my career itself, like maybe 20, 25 years back, the organizations were involved in a lot of low end or what you can say low end work, which is mainly maybe kind of testings or which is not related to the complete product development kind of activities. But over the period of time, the organizations, they have developed the capabilities. We have acquired really good knowledge, and while working with our global counterparts, we have acquired entire knowledge, and now you can see we are involved in complete product development. If I talk about vehicles, you can see that there are many GCCs who are involved in complete vehicle development. Like in my presentation, I mentioned about different areas which are part of vehicle engineering. So all the areas can be handled very easily by the organizations in India. So I think this picture is already changed, and you can see that the Indian engineers, they are involved in developing complex systems as well. Rather, I don't see any area, if like Girish was talking about the autonomous driving and connected vehicles, software-defined vehicles. So I don't see any area where the presence of Indian organizations or engineer is missing. So everywhere I can see that the Indian engineers, Indian organizations are participating. So the picture is already changed, I will say.
Thank you, Mr. Rahul. So Girish, would you like to add anything?
Just one statement. When you talk about future product development, it has to change. We need to be more agile. Agility is the future, development platform. When you talk about automotive itself, especially on the EVs, Tesla is a benchmark. So when you see Tesla, all their over-the-air updates happens within a day. So when it comes to, say, traditional OEMs, traditional I say because these are the OEMs who are catching up Tesla now. It could be BMW, Daimler, Mahindra, Tata, Maruti. They are catching up. When we want to introduce a new solution, even though it is an OTA, we talk in terms of months. So this is the stark difference where we are going through, and this has to change. And this way the agility comes into picture, and the agile methodology, is the future of product development, I would say.
Noted, sir. Great to hear. The next question is from Ritesh. It's about talent and retaining talent at the managerial level. Also, he mentions global placement is still a craze among the Indian employees. How do we handle this challenge?
Can you just repeat? What was the question? Retaining managerial roles, is that the question, or?
Yes, sir. Along with, I think he specifically wants to talk about managerial level, but in general, it's about talent management.
Talent management for retention. Is that
Yes,
the
sir.
question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I think talent management retention is a big part where, last year we saw a huge nation phase across the globe post COVID. And today, when you look at 2023, more stabilized because of many reasons. So post COVID, I think a lot of things have changed. Primarily when you talk about talent retention within the company, the way we used to work has changed drastically. A lot of companies have embraced 2 or 3 days in office. Some companies have, still not back to work in office, still, work from home is being encouraged. So a lot of things. So because of this, as a manager, many of them, they would have not seen or met their own team members for a long time. And with this, the retention part, you can imagine, becomes a kind of very big topic for the management in any industry. And when you talk to any HR head of any company, the first thing it comes to them is the talent retention. So a whole industry is suffering, and also whole industry has geared up in a different way to manage and retain employees by engaging in different ways. So engagement, really is an important tool to handle, also retain employees in the new way of working. And within our company as well, we have transformed these engagement activities in a different way. We have given a new look into that, where exactly it's not only executing some of the employee engagement programs, but how do we engage employees during this execution? That really matters a lot. People in today's world, they would like to get engaged with the company through some associations. It could be, reward and recognition program, or conducting an event, or running a training program. So I think this is where I think a very important aspect to the entire industry, that engagement is really a powerful tool in this new world of or new way of working.
Got it, sir. That's a great answer. Thank you. Sir Rahul, would you like to add anything?
Yeah. Apart from that, the culture is also an important part. I agree with most of the things which Mr. Girish has said, but in addition to that, develop a good culture within the organization is also important from the talent retention point of view. So are you inclusive enough? Are you taking care of your employees? That is also an important aspect which every organization shall consider. And yeah, that's what I would like to add. So culture is very important. That's what I would like to add.
Thank you, sir. I think we are close to the ending time. One last question. A few of our hope I'm audible, Mr. Rahul. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. We have had a few questions from our early stage folks and our engineering students as well. So their challenges with respect. I request you to go on mute. It's 1 second. Yeah. I'm sorry. So the question is from students as well as early career folks, right? So to get into niche segments such as automotive research and development and product development, etc. Like, what would be one advice that you would give to such a fellow?
Definitely, like there are a lot. I interact with lot many interns or college students which visit our organization multiple times, many times. And one advice which I used to give them is keep learning, keep on asking questions, like because this is a transition time for you. Like you are moving from the colleges to or universities to the organizations where we are working on our business goals. So this is a transition, and these initial years you shall spend in learning the things, how industry operates, what all are the best practices, what kind of tools are being used. So keep on asking questions. Don't worry what your seniors may feel, but keep on asking this question, keep on asking the question, keep on asking the doubts, keep on learning. So don't stop asking questions, don't stop learning, and don't hesitate for anything you would like to know. So that's what, this is the only one advice I can give you, or I can give these college students.
Thank you, Mr. Rahul. Mr. Girish, your view on this.
Shortly, I think Rahul covered a lot of things. Learning is a great step for these young engineers, especially 4 to 5 years. I think they need to really get into the depth. That's where I think a lot of learnings happens in the initial years. Very important. On top of it, I'd also suggest to make networking as a tool to get to know others, so that it becomes handy in today's world. Because in today's world, a product needs to be developed in a collaborative way. Not an individual team or an individual cannot develop a product right from the scratch to the end. We need to have this collaboration, and in order to have this collaboration strong, I think the networking capabilities needs to be good enough so that a lot of questions can be answered with the help of these networks.
Noted, sir. That is a great answer. Before I hand over to Anand for vote of thanks, would you like to have a closing remark, sir?
Yeah, I think thanks for providing the opportunity. Great session and great questions. Very well framed the questions from Pradeep. Also learned a lot of things from Rahul as well. And in case of any further questions, please reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to answer those questions. Again, thanks to SkillLink for having me here.
Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Rahul.
Yeah, so thank you very much for this opportunity. That's what I can say, that it was pretty interactive sessions, and thanks to you as well as Mr. Pradeep, because he was pretty instrumental in keeping it interactive. Thanks for the audience for effective, or thanks for the listening to what we are saying. And again, thanks for giving us the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Pradeep, sir, over to you.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Mr. Rahul and Mr. Girish. It was very nice interacting with you. A lot of things has been exchanged and a lot of learning for me as well. And thanks SkillLink for inviting me for this, as well as the audience for their queries. So thank you.